Hey, Fun Rich Mamas, it's Mitch. I am back with part 4 in our series of lessons learned, life lessons learned at the Guinness Beer Factory Brew Tour, Beer Brewing Factory Tour, one of those things. One day I will get that right. So let's go back to round up lessons 1, 2, and 3 with Arthur Guinness. First of all, he did have an amazing vision where he signed this 9,000-year lease on a building back in 1759 to brew his Guinness beer, his stout that he wanted to have worldwide acclaim. And the next thing he did is he set up his infrastructure and processes so that he had the brewing going and at a regular speed and making things happen. And number 3 was he brought a team in place because obviously for the size and scale of what he wanted, he had to have a team. And all of those can relate back to us as well as having a vision for our life, making sure that we know what our infrastructure is, that we're feeding ourselves, and what our processes are, if they're either moving us forward or backwards. And of course, putting a team around us that helps us succeed in life and that we can also help too. So part 4 comes to how do we make sure that we're having that quality? How did he have a quality beer every single time that it went out? Well, yeah, he had a team, he had his infrastructure and processes. They also did a review of all the beers. Imagine having that job, being the master brewer, the beer brewery of the brewers, the beer taster. There's a term and it will not come out of my mouth the correct way. So I'm gonna hope that you're just going along with that. Either way, they taste all their batches and they make sure in a review that it has the quality, the certain taste, the certain look, the certain smell, the color, all of that stuff needs to be consistent. So that way, anyone who has a Guinness beer around the world always knows that they're gonna have the same great product. How do we relate that in our lives? Well, reviewing is a big thing that many of us kind of push to the side because A, it takes some time, B, it can be uncomfortable, and C, then we have to get creative about coming up with a plan. And that just seems like a whole lot of work when I'm just busy living, doing what's going on, right? Well, what if instead we have moments in our life where something went not quite the way that you wanted it? It might have been a conversation, it might have been a project that you were working on, a situation, a moment with your kids, whatever it is, and you walk away and you know you have that feeling of, I don't like how I showed up, or I don't like how I behaved, or there was something about it that just wasn't right. I wasn't bringing the quality of myself to that situation, and how can I change that? And it's hard because it means that you have to get real and vulnerable with yourself, and you have to admit to some times that you may not have been right. Sorry, I had to pause there for a moment because that one really hurt, right? Or that you might have been the person at fault, or something that just doesn't feel good to recognize. And unless we're able to go back and to see that and to see what happened, why did that happen, review that situation, review that moment, review that conversation, then we can't move forward and make the adjustments in order to get back to that quality self that we want to be to keep us on track in our vision. So I'm going to share a little story about way back in the day when I happened to be in a co-ed softball rec league team. I know you can tell just by the name that it was just like real gung-ho sports. I loved it. I had so much fun. I was not necessarily the best at the game, but I was definitely one that could cheer us on and participate to the best of my abilities. My one redeeming quality was that I could hit from either side of the plate. And that mainly happened because we had a bunch of different lefty and righty players, and I was always behind someone different. So I would just go to the side of the plate of whatever side the person before me went. And so that kind of worked out in a way, but the rest of the field play was not so great. So usually my team would place me somewhere like third field or left field. So you can't even, this is how bad I was. Like left field or somewhere that the ball probably wasn't gonna make a lot, maybe even outfield, right field. So one time we were playing a game and I had a guy that was next to me. He's like, okay, I know that throwing far is not your strong suit, but why don't you just do this? If the ball comes to you, just grab it, throw it to me, and I'll take care of the rest. I'm like, cool, I am down with that. I can do that. And I'm really great at following instructions. So of course, the game is playing and suddenly the ball finds its way to me. I run up, and as I'm running up out of the side of my eye, I see him behind me, and I'm so excited because I got the ball and I'm running fast, and I'm like, this is great. I'm going to get it to him. This is going to be wonderful. I turn around, I just throw the ball and he is not behind me anymore. Backfield. He is on the side of me. And in that very moment, all I wanted to do was have the earth open up and swallow me whole because I didn't want to turn around and see everyone's face go, why did this chick just throw the ball to outfield? And of course, the other team is making home runs like crazy. So if I was smart and would go back and look at that situation, I could see, okay, in my review, did I follow instructions? Yes, but perhaps maybe a better process would have been to say, hey, look first before you throw, which seems like common sense. However, I was excited and I was just in a hurry. And sometimes that happens to us in life as well. We get excited or in a hurry and common sense just kind of flies out the window. We might be the most practical person at all of these other times. In certain situations or conversations, they just like hijack that brain of ours and we just become these bumbling fools. And so we can go back and we can review. Be honest with yourself. And a really fun way to do this that kind of takes the emotion and the pain out of it is to step back and be a third-party observer, like you're watching a movie, okay? And I know there might be some moments where you're like, this is boring. Take a deep breath, watch it and replay it and say, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have said differently? What would have made this situation where when I walked away, I felt good about it instead of feeling like doo-doo, right? And now we have a plan for the next time anything like that comes to play in our life. And it feels empowering because then we don't have to rely on our common sense. We can rely on the fact that we already thought about it and we already came up with a plan. So review is a really big one. And here's another thing too, don't dwell in it. Absolutely, we either get the people that we totally ignore it and we don't acknowledge it, or we have the dwellers, right, where we dwell on it and we're like, and we think about it over and over and over again and we replay the failure and it's like, and next thing you find us in the corner rolled up like, just give me a Twinkie. And we wonder why we keep getting those same results. So review, figure out the plan, move on. And that's all that it takes. And as long as you're consistently doing that, then you're taking incremental steps forward in your life and in the quality of your life. So this was a quick one for today. We have 2 more segments that'll be coming up over the next couple of weeks that we are learning from Arthur. In the meanwhile, I would love to invite you to join us on Facebook. We have a group there called Fun Rich Life, Being Mom and Beyond. And you can find that at facebookgroup.com/groups/Fun Rich Life, and that will be in the description. And I would love to have you come join us there. We have a group of amazing mamas who are all about creating a wonderful experience being a mother and also a wonderful experience being beyond motherhood and recapturing our identity and being the full woman that we were even before we had kids. So wrapping those 2 worlds, making them beautifully collide. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Remember, review, don't just sit and dwell. And I will see you the next few times. In the meanwhile, go make it a fun, rich life. See you soon. Bye.